if I ever get to a place where that could be my reality. So what do I do now? I want to prepare myself right now. And there's things that I don't know right now that I can then learn. And you start stacking those things together, you're in a constant perpetual movement forward of education, of learning, of experience. There's no right or wrong, it's just data. It's just all data. Am I better today than I was yesterday? Yes or no? Because you have that knowledge and you have that reality, but in that moment, that's what I'm thinking. Am I right here, right now, better than I was yesterday?
What it is, Brad Lee, back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Today in the studio, folks, as always, I've got a real treat for you. Sean Whalen in the house. What's up, Sean? Appreciate you coming in today.
Well, you paid me a lot of money to be here, so
it was
I'm
last minute, dude. It was last minute, so I always appreciate it.
We've done this before. We're warmed up.
It's been a while.
It's been a hot minute. 2018.
It's been 5-6 years.
18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, 5 years.
A lot's happened in 5 or 6 years.
Couple
You've
things.
grown. Lions Not Sheep has grown.
It has.
For some of you guys that say, who's Sean Whalen? Well, first of all, folks, what are you under a rock? Secondly, he is the founder and CEO of Lions Not Sheep. He's got a coaching group that reaches thousands of individuals that literally have testimonials going up the yin yang.
And out the yin yang.
And in the yin yang. He's got a podcast that's growing rapidly, the Sean and Sax Show.
Yep.
Which most people, I think they're following it because they think it's Sean and Sex Show.
Yeah.
But it's Sax.
It's because my wife's hot, dude.
Saxony.
They follow because she is friggin' smoking hot.
He's also got a book that miraculously fucking sold a shit ton.
Almost
called
1 million.
How to Make Shit Happen.
Yep.
Almost 1 million.
Almost 1 million copies.
Do you think it was the title?
Organic.
What do you think it was? Like just word of mouth?
I don't know. I think it was really cheap. So I only priced it at like $5 because I was going to do like a free plus book, but Amazon didn't do that. So I think it was the pricing and the mystique. And when you say like swear words, it attracts people. It pisses people off too, but yeah.
How to Make
Plus,
Shit
it was
Happen.
a short read. It was really quick. It was really easy. It's a great book.
You guys can follow him at Sean Whalen. That's WHALEN. Go to SeanWhalen.com or, of course, LionsNotSheepCoaching.com. Yep. And LionsNotSheep.com is your apparel company?
Yeah.
So anyway, everybody knows who you are. If they don't, they do now. You got videos out there with like 1 trillion views.
Yeah.
What were getting those views? Like what kicked off Sean Whalen?
Well, number one, just sharing shit. You know that. And this is when you could say whatever you wanted to on social media and you wouldn't get blocked or banned.
Yeah, but one day I saw you
Yeah.
in a video. You didn't look the same.
No.
You looked almost goofy.
Yeah, I was.
No beard.
I used to be goofy. You used to be fat.
You were still am.
No, you look good, but you really do. And hats off. Before you get into, talking all about me, let's talk about you for a second. Like, you're killing it, dude. Real talk, you're killing it. We go way back, and you've grown a ton, dude. Your podcast is crushing. Like, I just walk in here, Damon John's just chilling. You guys are talking about smoking crack. It was great. You're killing the game, dude. Hats off to you.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
But I saw these videos of you. You were boy-faced.
Yeah.
No beard.
No beard.
You were running around doing wholesaling.
Yeah.
Basically.
Real estate.
Yeah, real estate
days.
And now you're a fucking bearded up, tatted up fucking guru with successful businesses. You got fucking ranches out in the middle of Utah. You're building kick-ass shit.
Yep.
You fucking got thousands of fucking followers. You can pack a house. You're talking to Jordan Peterson.
That was fun, man. Jordan was fun. That was cool.
Yeah, so what happened? What's the transition there?
Dude, I kept sharing my story over and over and over again. I just kept sharing it. I was terrified after my bankruptcy, divorce. You know the whole story. Anybody that doesn't, just Google it. You see it. I was terrified to even show my face. You know what I'm saying? Like humiliated, lost millions of dollars, went through this bankruptcy. The guy who was one time building huge businesses, it's like the train wreck, right? And my dear friend and coach at the time, Garrett White, was like challenged, like pushing me, like legit pushing me, like to get back into the game, to get back into having some mojo. And one of the scariest things for me was sharing my story publicly. And here comes this thing called Facebook. Which, believe it or not, I thought it was stupid at first. My ex-wife had it. She's like, this thing's great. I'm like, this is a fucking waste of time. I mean, we're old school guys, right? And so it was terrifying to me. And I started sharing little insights from my study every morning. So like Garrett was like, have me study every morning. And I'd share these little nuggets, and it kind of built a little bit of confidence. And then I started shooting videos, and I've left a bunch of them on YouTube because everybody's like, dude, you're so good at videos now. And you can sit up and sit with Jordan Peterson, you get on stage in front of 5,000 people and just love it. Drop bombs, no pun intended. I said, but back in the day, I was terrified, man. You put a camera in front of me or have me share a message, and it was that squeaky little kid who was scared of his own shadow. But I kept doing it and doing it and doing it. It's just like anything else. You want to get in shape, you just got to keep lifting. You can do 6,000 sit-ups one time, it ain't going to do shit. But if you do sit-ups every single day, you share every single day, you start sharing your story, you get more and more and more comfortable. And literally over the last 7-8 years, almost 1 billion views of videos, which is insane. I have some videos on Facebook that have like 100 million views. And it's just me, literally all from an iPhone, no green screen, no guy following me around with a camera, just me talking into my phone, just sharing me, sharing my story, sharing my feelings, sharing my thoughts. And it's built this huge tribe and a bunch of cool businesses. And I get to meet mildly handsome fellas like you.
Talk about the drugs.
What about?
I don't even call them drugs. I call it medicine.
Yeah? Which ones do we want to talk about?
Well, we were talking last night, and you said that you've done like ayahuasca 14 times.
Yeah. It's amazing, dude. It's amazing. It's like, I don't like calling it medicine anymore. So I was introduced to this. I mean, I'd had multiple friends talk about it. It kind of became cool. Joe Rogan talked about it. Jason Silva talked about it. Aubrey Marcus talked about it. And, you know, as I started following these guys over the years, you hear about it. You hear about psilocybin. You hear about, you know, all these different things, ketamine and ayahuasca. And I had researched it and knew what it was and knew of it. But I had never really felt called to it. It was one of those things where you just don't run down to the corner and be like, yo, who's got some freaking ayahuasca? It's like a very spiritual experience. And I think my first ayahuasca experience was about 5.5 years ago, and changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. So we were talking about this. Debbie Ford wrote The Dark Side of Light Chasers, one of my favorite books. She talks about how when you're born into these infinite mansions, and you have kids. Your kids are really young. They don't know anything. I mean, they'll pull glass freaking marbles off of like a mantle and crack their head open. They'll stick a fork in a plug. They don't understand what good and bad is or right or wrong or anything like that. It's just pure innocence, right? People have asked me, you know, what is ayahuasca like? What is plant medicine like? Imagine being 45, 50 years old. How old are you now? 70?
54.
62? Imagine being 62 and going back to that egolessness state. Imagine being 52, 44, and going back to being an 18-month-old, 24-month-old, where there is no good or bad or right or wrong. It's just pure. Everything's pure. So I've had a lot of really cool experiences and found a lot of peace and a lot of insight there. And like Debbie Ford talks about, like, we're born into these infinite mansions where everything is curious. We're wondering about everything. And now here we are, 45, 52 years old, living in these 1-bedroom condos saying this is the way life is. This is how it's always going to be, kind of a deal. And what I found is it takes me into that curiosity, that infinite mansion where anything's possible and everything's possible. It's really been special for me. It's been very spiritual.
And you can bring that back to reality, call it.
The goal is to be in this experience right now, like to be in the state of quote unquote medicine. I call it the sacrament now, because to me it's extremely divine. It's not medicine, because medicine infers that there's something wrong with you. It infers that you're sick. I don't think we are. I think that this is kind of a God experience where you get to open up more doors. And so my end game is I want to be able to live in this consciousness state, like I would be if I was taking ayahuasca or in an experience with psilocybin or something like that.
Out of all of them, which one's your fave?
Oh man. I recently found a doctor who I've been doing some ketamine treatments, and I really, really, really like ketamine. Ketamine's grounded me probably more than anything else that I've done, anything else that I've tried or worked with or experienced.
Yeah. So You're right when you say we learn how to be afraid. We learn how to. The other day, my daughter, 20-month-old, walks up to me on the back of our porch in Nashville, and she walks up and she goes, "Bug," and I look, and she's freaking got between her fingers a big ass spider, and I'm like, freaking. No, drop it.
Yeah.
And so she dropped it. And now when she sees a spider, she's like, ooh, spider. And I'm sitting there thinking in my head, like, I'm teaching her to be afraid of spiders. Yeah. And in some cases that's good because it'll save her life. Hopefully she grab a black widow and it might be done.
Right.
So how do you differentiate, what you should be teaching and what you're not teaching?
Well, what does should be? I mean, this is the rabbit hole you get to go down.
You don't want to grab and spiders, do you?
That's the thing. Like, I have 5 kids. I mean, it's, I want to lead them and guide them, but I realize, like, it's this perpetual experience that we're all having. You don't know what you know right now until you experience it. Like, you are where you are right now in this present moment, as am I, literally learning everything that we think we know right now in this exact moment, right? It's never experienced before. It's never been real before, right? And I found over the last couple of years, as I've really gone deep into myself, like, and deep, I mean, just really trying to figure out who the fuck I am. Like, what am I, like, what do I believe? Like, where did all of this come from, right? And it's this never ending experience. I realized that every single time I'm down or I'm depressed, I'm thinking about yesterday. I'm thinking about some shit that I have no control over. Like, I did this or said this or should have done this or should have whatever. And every single time I'm dealing with anxiety or like that anxious feeling, I'm worried about tomorrow. And the truth of the matter is that you can't do anything about either of them. We think we can. Our ego says that we can. Like, give me $1 billion and I'll change the world. Okay, cool. Here's $1 billion. Just kidding. You're dead by dinner. The money doesn't have anything to do with it, right? Here's $1 billion. Change yesterday. You can't. So you start really understanding, like, this experience that we're having is literally happening right now. So how do I have the optimal now? You know what I mean? A lot of people ask me.
That's the question.
Well, that's the question is how do you, what's your purpose? You Google that, there's millions of results, right? And that's why there's a lot of people out there that will say this or that about, plant medicine or the sacrament, or whatever you want to call it, ayahuasca, this, that, and the other. But the truth of the matter is, like, what do we really fucking know? Like, what do you really know? You know what I'm saying? Like, what your parents taught you. You know how you were raised. You know the socioeconomic things that are happening in the world. You know what CNN or Fox or ABC or Facebook or Instagram is feeding you. But, like, what do you really, really know? And as I've started, like, looking at that and, like, really going down that rabbit hole, I had a lady at one of my events just break down in tears right in front of me, and I stopped and I was like, what's up? And she's like, I don't know what my purpose is. And this is something that, you and I've talked about this before, that I've really been intrigued by for years. And if you stop and think about it, like, really think about what's your purpose. Most people say, well, it's to be a good dad or to be a good business owner or a leader or a visionary or whatever. But it's like, what does any of that mean? For me, I found that when I'm in a singular moment, that's when I'm at peace, right? If I'm thinking about yesterday, tomorrow, things, the bills, the deal, the business, there's all these other states, you know what I'm saying? But how many times do we sit there watching a sunset and we're trying to find the right fucking filter on our phone and do this and this and this, and then next thing you know, the sun's down and you're like stressed about the moment because did I catch the right picture or whatever, versus just sitting there and fucking experiencing it.
Or pissed because you didn't.
Yeah, exactly. And so for me, like, life has it's taken this really interesting turn where I realize I want to experience an optimal moment and then do it again and again and again. And so it's like living in this experience, living in this moment. Like, we don't script any of this shit. It's not like, okay, what questions are we going to talk about, this and the other. But if you kind of break it all down, it's like, I truly believe this is what people are after right now. I really feel like you want business. There's plenty of business conversations out there. How to build a click funnel, how to build blah, 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 blah. There's a million people that'll teach you that. But, like, why are so many people so depressed? Why are so many people so anxious? Why are more men killing themselves now than during the Great Depression? More men killed themselves in 2022 than during the Great Depression. Why?
Well, there's more men, first of all.
Statistically, why? Why is that happening? It's not because there's a lack of money out there. You can freaking make money doing anything nowadays, right? It's not because there's a lack of companionship. You can roll down to the local watering hole and find some freaking chick who's lonely too, right? So what is it really all about? Like, why are we more addicted to prescription drugs? Why are kids more upset and sad than ever before? Why are 51% of marriages ending? You know what I'm saying? I look at it, and you have a lot of people around you, and you're kind of in that space, and there's a lot of people that haven't figured out just how to fucking live, like to be right here, right now. We're so worried about where we should be or how it should look, or I fucked everything up and I'm never going to be the same. And what plant medicine, I'll just use that because that's what people know it as, has helped me do is just be in a moment and be at peace in a moment.
But don't you think, because when I'm listening, I'm like, that's nice. It's wonderful. But if you don't put any thought into the future and you don't take anything from the past and learn from it, you're bound to repeat and miss opportunities because you weren't paying attention.
Where are you paying attention right now?
Well, right now I'm here in the moment.
Exactly.
However,
else exists? Tell me what else exists.
What do you mean?
You have ideas about tomorrow. You have probably a planner and a schedule, and you're going to get on a plane later today, so on and so forth, right? You have all of those thoughts, right?
Yeah.
But what exists right now?
Well, you're talking to the wrong guy because I agree 1,000%. The only thing that ever exists is now.
Right.
Because as soon as you even say now, it's gone.
It's gone.
So like now, like this is all that exists.
That's the trip.
Nothing else exists.
That's the trip.
And that's the truth. But something will exist.
Right.
There is something coming your way. Like, let's say you piss off the wrong person. They're coming to your house to kick your ass.
Right.
A lot of people will be like, well, I'm going to get a gun. I'm going to, prepare. Mm-hmm. And you're a big preparer too. That's where I'm driving this.
Oh yeah.
So if you don't think about this shit, you're going to get caught with your pants down. So in theory, you're talking to the same believer. There's nothing but now. But if you don't take any of now and think about tomorrow, you might have worse nows, in my opinion. So
which is exactly what we're doing as human beings. We're taking all this data that we're experiencing right now and doing something with it. So we're stringing together these moments where, give you an example. Right? You see some dude get attacked on the street. You watch a video. In an instant, you have a thought and you have a feeling, right? Okay, what do I do with that? Then what do I do with that? I take these emotions and these feelings and I build something with it, right? So for me, it's like getting your house in order. We've talked about this 1,000 times. See a guy on the street, I'm like, I don't want that to be my reality if I ever get to a place where that could be my reality. So what do I do now? I want to prepare myself right now. And there's things that I don't know right now that I can then learn. And you start stacking those things together, you're in a constant perpetual movement forward of education, of learning, of experience. There's no right or wrong. It's just data. It's just all data. Am I better today than I was yesterday? Yes or no? Because you have that knowledge and you have that reality. But in that moment, that's what I'm thinking. Am I right here, right now, better than I was yesterday? But that's the thought that I'm having in this experience. And with all that data, this is why so many people I can't control this and I can't do that and I can't. You can do whatever the fuck you want. I could literally become a brain surgeon if I wanted to. I could become a lawyer if I wanted to. There's literally nothing stopping a human being from doing anything that they want to do. It's those singular moments where if I can control your brain, and I win, right? I mean, this is the real estate game that everybody is playing in the media and so on and so forth. But this is why it's so fucking important for human beings to be in a singular moment, to know who the fuck they are. What do you believe?
Well, that's hard. That's a hard question.
It's a terribly hard question. That's why most people won't go down that rabbit hole. That's why it's way easier to just sedate ourselves with, who's fucking who, what celebrities are doing what, who are we bombing today, what politicians should we be mad at? Because it's way easier to just focus on that shit than to actually stop and look at yourself. This is why medicine, if you will, sacrament, it exposes you, man.
Now, do you, in your coaching program, have you developed any kind of tool that allows people to really focus in and try and figure this shit out? Because as you just said that, I thought to myself, man, there should be some sort of almost test to where here's what you should be asking yourself. Because I always ask, what do I believe? Well, I don't know. I don't even know where to start. But if you ask me a question, I can tell you what I believe about it. Yeah. But when you say, what's your purpose? I don't know.
What is your purpose?
I don't have a fucking real purpose.
What's Bradley's purpose? I need one. What's your purpose, though?
Define purpose.
What's your purpose?
I say my purpose, which is my mission, is to get the knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it Why? Well, ultimately, because my dad, who was a good dude, good, hard-working son of a bitch, never made financially shit out of his life. Almost did once, but never did. And I believe it's because he didn't have the right information. He worked like a motherfucking ox. The dude was like as good as you can be work-wise and blue-collar-wise. Good blue-collar. I always say blue-collar people are my people. Why? Yeah. Because I grew up around blue-collar, and they're all fucking good people. They're willing to work hard. They get their hands dirty. They're not fucking entitled. They're not bitches. So those are my people. But like I have people, you just visited one, that tell me, dude, you quit trying to help the fucking people that are losing, man. Like they're fucking losers for a reason. Yeah. Help the winners. They can afford to pay you. You know, they got the money. These guys don't have any money. I'm like, well, that's who the motherfuckers I want to help. I want to help them become them, because I know that if I can help the poor people, or the blue collar, I shouldn't say poor, if I can help the regular
like created the country, like banking systems, oil, the phones that we use, the whole deal. 99.9% of them all say the exact same thing at the end of their book. If I could go back and do it all over again, I would have spent more time doing the shit that I wanted to do, and I would have spent more time with my family. All of them. Well, almost without fail. They all say the same thing. So a couple of years ago, I was like, on this build, grow, big, pop, the whole thing, because it's the competition and the thing, and I want to crush everybody and the whole thing. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, that's like if Steve Jobs was sitting here with me right now, that's what he's telling me to do. He's like, if I could go back and be 44 years old, like Sean, you are right now, here's what I would do. Because if you read his book, he's like, I have all the money in the world. He's worth like $7 billion, I think, when he died. He's like, I can't buy a cure for cancer. I can't cure myself. And that's the shit that, to me,
you should have looked for fenbendazole.
Who you have all the secrets, man.
Fenbendazole, look it up. If you ever get cancer, go get fenbendazole.
Go get it. Just send it to me, will you? Really think about that, though, man. Like, if that's what they're saying, like, then what game am I really playing? Like right here, right now. If I want to be smart and listen to what they're telling me to do, and this is the war that I feel like we're all having. Men,
for sure.
Where am I in I talk about this in my book. When I had my meltdown, when I left my business, left my marriage, like almost committed suicide, I talked about how I felt like I was juggling bowling balls, right? Like when I was at home, I needed to be at work. When I was at work, I needed to be at home. If I'm home, I'm not being a good provider. If I'm at work, I'm not being a good father. Like I'm at Disneyland, I'm on my BlackBerry. Most people listening to this don't even know what fucking BlackBerries are. Like I'm on my BlackBerry when we're at the line at Disneyland. I'm like, honey, I have to be connected to the business. How do you think I pay for this shit? And the whole thing, it's just this fucking,
I do that a lot.
It's this insane shit, right? And what does it all mean? Like, what does all of that mean? I don't know. Is it right? Is it wrong? Is it good? Is it bad? Are you successful? Am I successful? Like, is this success? What does it all fucking mean? But I think what's fascinating is some of the simplest questions and what stumps some of the smartest motherfuckers out there. You ask some people, like, would you consider yourself wealthy?
No.
You got a Ferrari
that ain't wealthy.
You got a lot of cool shit.
Well, again,
you're in the top 1 percentile.
I'd say comfortable for sure.
Comfortable.
But,
I mean, what does it all mean?
I told you my little girl almost drowned.
Yeah.
That makes me wealthy. So yes, I'm wealthy in that regard, but I don't want to make people think I said I'm wealthy, because I don't believe I'm financially wealthy yet.
Yeah.
I think I'm comfortable. I think I've done better than a lot, but I don't believe I've done anything I could have done and should have done by now. Yeah. Like, dude, if I could start over.
Yeah. If woulda, coulda, shoulda, you go back. But like, if you really step back from that, like, there's a lot of information out there of how to make money and how to build muscles and, you know, how to get a hot chick and shit like that. But like, what does all of it mean?
I know, but dude, that's the dichotomy. that keeps happening because I agree. However, spending time with family, which is the ideal, and that's what everybody says they would do, which is true, you know, you have to have some money to fucking spend time with family. Real good time. Now, no, you don't. That's fucking delusional, fucking philosophical bullshit.
Agreed.
Like when you're spending time in Italy, like you were,
yeah,
dude, that took fucking dough.
It did.
Building a ranch,
it did.
Custom. That takes dough. And if you didn't fucking sacrifice time with your family to get that dough, you wouldn't be spending the quality time you are now. And someone could say, that's bullshit. You don't have to have money to spend quality time. Yeah.
You do.
Again, sitting around jacking off.
The only people say that are broke people.
And not only that, it's like, that's fucking philosophical. You're correct. I could go home and not spend any money and enjoy the hour with my daughter. Right. But that hour passes. And now I need some fucking money because she needs braces. She needs private school. She needs shit. We need shit. Right. So there has to be a balance between fucking, hey, I got to sacrifice this ideal for the future. Because if I don't, dude, I can sit here and spend time with my kids all day long. And when I die, I go, you know, I spent my whole life spending time with my kids. A lot of times those people end up fucking losing their kids because they can't provide any fucking guidance or leadership or assistance or anything. Yep. So how do you balance those?
What does it all mean? What does balance mean?
How do you do both?
I've literally made millions of dollars sharing my entire life, being with my family, working, having fun. How many people do you know that actually do what they want to be doing?
Not many.
Right. So one of the hardest questions you ask a human being, I've asked millionaires, billionaires this question. It's the simplest fucking question, yet it is the most difficult. It took me almost 2 years to answer this. What do you want? What do you want? Most people can't answer that. Like, what do you really want? I want to be happy. Well, what does happy mean? Like, okay, what do you want? I want to be free. Well, dude, I'm free to fucking stab you in the eyeball with a pen if I want to. There's repercussions for it, but what do you want? Well, I want more money. Well, how much more money? When? How? Nobody's like drilling down into these singular moment questions because nobody's willing to tell the truth. So when you strip away a lot of this shit, right? Got to work and I got to be here and I got to do this and I got to do this. Like, what do you really want? Because at the end of the day, it's not about like how many zeros you have. There's a lot of people that are totally kosher, never driving a Ferrari.
Was it you that told me that if you ask all the men, it boils down to two things that people want?
I don't know. Was it wise?
No, it's peace and freedom.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the answers they give. But again, what is freedom?
Well, what is peace and what is freedom? And this
when
is
you
what
when
I
you were
found
just saying
fascinating.
it, I was thinking to myself, what do I want?
It's exactly my point.
Ideally, what I would want is the ability to do whatever the fuck I want, whenever I want, with whomever I want, for as long as I want, which to me, that's money. Well, I got to go get some money then.
Okay, let me roll on that, okay? People ask me all the time, what defines success? What is my definition of success? And this is that game that we're all playing in our head. And people are listening going, what the fuck are we even talking about? Where is this going? These are those questions that so few people are asking. Yet if you look at what's really happening with people that have a lot of wealth, that are really at peace, that are living an optimal life, these are the questions that they've asked themselves, right? Like, what does all of that mean? I think success is I can do anything I want whenever I want. I can buy a first-class plane ticket for me and my family and go anywhere in the world anytime I want. If I can do that, I'm successful. My definition of success is that you can buy first-class tickets for you and your family and fly anywhere in the world anytime you want, no strings attached.
Well, then I'm successful.
Boom. So then if
you're successful.
I am successful. I absolutely am. Nobody in my family has ever made over $100,000 in a year, and I make that in a month. You understand what I'm saying? But that's the problem with our brain. Well, I'm not, and all of these things. And so when you start looking at the, like real questions, not like, hey man, so how do I make more money? How do you build a business? How do I go from 1 to 5 million and 5 to 50 million and 50 to 100 million? Like all these rudimentary questions, right? It's fascinating. I was with a guy in Lake Powell, a billionaire. He owns tens of thousands of doors in multi-unit, right? And the entire time we were down there, I was with a group of really successful people. We were talking tax strategies and things and all of these business things. And it's like this guy, he's a big dude, very well known. And obviously everybody around him just wants to suck all of this, information from him that's going to help them make more money to get to this status, right? we're driving around and we get to this spot. We end up hiking up to this really cool place. And it's really fascinating because he's sitting there telling these stories, and you just see the people they're enamored, like they just, every single word that comes out. And I know him and I know his son, and he and his son have a very estranged relationship. And I know that his son doesn't really care for the dad, and the dad's kind of pissed off at the son, kind of a deal. And so I looked at him and I said, hey man, like, what's your biggest regret? If you could go back and be my age, what would you change? And dude, he lost it. And everybody that was with me was kind of looking at me going, oh shit, like, why did Whalen just ask him that? Like, we were on a roll. We were talking the dough and the whole thing. To make a long story short, he talked about how he realized at his age that he wasn't the father that he should have been. And that if he could go back and do it all over again. And so he actually, on the way down, as we're walking back to his boat, put his arm around me. And he's like, nobody's ever asked me anything like that. And I said, dude, I know your son and I know you. And I know that you love your son and I know that your son loves you. You got to fucking fix that shit. And dude, it was a really cool moment because here's this billionaire. I don't really give a fuck about his money. I don't really care. I want tax strategies. I call a tax guy. I want business I call a business guy. I need another funnel. I'll call Russell Brunson. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the rudimentary shit. But here's a late 60s, early 70s dude who's worth a ton of fucking money and has a completely estranged family. And I'm like, yeah, I want to know, like, what would you do if you were me today? How would you fix that game? Because that's the game. I'm headed where you're going or where you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
these are the questions that, like, very few men, in my opinion, are asking. And these are the conversations that I really feel like we should be having, because at some point in time, I'm going to be exactly where he is, looking back going, fuck, I heard all of it and I didn't do it. I should have, would have, could have. But here at 44, I can do something about it.
And you do.
And I do every day. That's why I spend so much time with my kids. That's why I built the business. I asked that question, what do I want? The truth is, I don't want to work. I hate being in an office. I got a dope fucking office. I just bought a brand new office building. It's dope. It's got glass and it's really cool. I don't want to be in an office. The truth is, I want to play with my kids all day. But Sean, you can't do that. And you can't. Why can't I?
Because you got to make money.
Okay, so why not build a business that'll allow me to play with my kids all day?
Well, you know what I call that?
What?
A real business.
That's exactly my point. So these are the questions, Brad, that we need to be asking ourselves, because if I can do it, which I've done, what's stopping millions and millions and millions of other motherfuckers from doing it?
Knowledge.
Exactly. So why don't we get out of our egos and, like, break down some of the bullshit and maybe have a couple freaking shots of ayahuasca and eat some mushrooms together and whatever and start opening up some shit. You see what I'm saying?
Do you think there's any other way to do it?
Yeah, for sure. Just stop being a fucking prideful asshole, because that's where I was, and then I burned my entire world to the ground. And it took me almost literally killing myself to get to that place where I started asking myself deeper questions, like, what do you really want? Like, Sean, what do you really want? Like, take that, run with that. I wrote that on my bathroom mirror, and I read that every single day. It took me almost 2 years, because I want to be happy. I want to be wealthy. I want to be a good man. I want to be a good husband. I want to be a good father. I want to be a good dad, all the rudimentary bullshit. And the truth is, like, I don't want to struggle financially. Awesome. What does that look like? I built a business. I want to play with my kids. When my daughter, when I first started going down this road, she was riding horses, and I'm like, I want to go be at the barn with her all day long. And so I built a business that allowed me to do that. And I've continued to follow that same blueprint. And that's what I teach with Lions Not Sheep. That's what I share. So a lot of people are like, dude, your life is crazy. You're racing cars one day, and you're riding horses one day, and then you're on your ranch one day, and then you're here with Brad one day. What's today, Friday? Is it a Friday?
Yep.
Just a typical Friday at 2:00 in the afternoon, chopping up with my friends. This is the life that I wanted to build. And I can do that. And I'm literally doing it. So I think anybody listening to this is kind of going, well, it sounds cool, or you're special, or I grew up in a single parent home, man. Nobody taught me this shit.
It's but.
Yahshua.
No.
Jesus.
But.
Yeah, but. Stop saying yeah, but.
That's what
Stop
people do,
saying
dude.
yeah, but.
One time someone asked me, hey, dude, how do I scale my business? And I start to tell him, and he says, yeah, but.
Dude.
And I stopped talking. He goes, what, dude? I'm like, dude, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I'm going to tell you what I've learned. Exactly. I tell you, and you say, yeah, but.
Yep.
And if that means you're not listening, Because if I really wanted to figure it out, you say, how do I do it? And you go, da, 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 da. I take notes.
Totally.
And what I tell people is then I go try to disprove you. If you're one of those pessimistic fuckers, don't try to just take whatever Sean Whalen tells you and fucking believe it.
Poke holes in it.
Go try to fucking disprove him.
For sure.
And you'll end up proving him or disproving him. But at the end of the day, there's no but.
Yeah.
Like I hate when people say that shit.
Yeah, but you know,
you get it, I'm sure, a lot.
100% every day.
And
this is what's fascinating about social media. And this is what really is fascinating about our entire culture and our system right now is it's like we're programmed since we were little kids to lie. Straight up. It's how we were, right? This is what good is. This is what bad is. Here's right. Here's wrong. If you're religious, you know what I mean? This is what will get you to heaven. If you do this, you're going to go to hell. I mean, from when we were little teeny kids, we've been programmed with the ritualistic prayers, do this, don't do this. You know, sit down. When you're a little kid, you got to raise your hand to go to the bathroom at school, get permission. You know what I mean? Then they put you on the conveyor belt. The system, our parents weren't bad people. They just didn't fucking know because they were raised by people that didn't fucking know. You understand what I'm saying? And so then you get into school and it's like, here's what life's going to look like. You're going to get an education and then a job and you're going to climb this corporate ladder. And then you're going to, you know, buy a house in Boca if you're really lucky, and then you're going to die. And this is the American dream. This is like what it is. And I realized years ago after I burned my world down, like this is where I kind of forced myself to I just started questioning everything. I questioned my belief. I questioned my connection to God. I questioned all of it. I literally questioned, what do I want? Why do I believe what I believe? And the truth of the matter is I had never actually built a relationship with God. I had just done what everybody told me to do. I said the prayers, said the day, went to church, threw $20 in the basket, kosher. You know what I'm saying? And then like, I'd never actually figured out who God was. I'd never built a connection with him. Yet the good book, I believe in the Bible, whatever it says, you know, asking you shall receive, knock shall be opened unto you. I start questioning everything. Why do I believe what I believe about money? Most of my adult life, I'd never had a six pack. I always said like six packs are for the dudes that are in the gym, you know, 6 hours a day. Neither of my parents were in shape. It's genetics, the whole thing. And the truth is I just never actually gone far enough in the pain to build it. Well, when you build it, you're like, oh shit, 42 years old, I built a six pack. I'm like, well, fuck, what other stories can I rewrite? You know what I mean? Like you heard the story about my snake, right? About Butters.
No, what?
You ever seen the snake? You got to come.
I've seen the snake. It's that yellow anaconda or something?
Yeah.
Boa? What is it?
It's a python. Articulated python. I hated
yellow.
Snakes. Yeah. Her name is Butters, right? Me and Butters are freaking homies now. I hated snakes my entire life. Fucking despised them. Like I'd hit them with shovels, run them over in my car. They were just gross. I just hated them. My buddy breeds them. Fucking wild. He's had like 150 snakes. And, we became really good friends. He joined Lions Not Sheep and came through the Lions Not Sheep experience and the whole thing. And I would always go up to his place in Park City, and he has all these huge tanks with like 20-foot long snakes and hundreds of little babies and the whole thing. And I would always be like, no, I'm not. Nah. He'd give me a little baby, and it's one of those things where I hold it out on my arm. Anyways, one day he comes to my house. I'm like, yo, I want a snake. And he's like, well, what are you talking about? What do you mean you want a snake? You hate snakes. I was like, I know, but something just in my brain was like, get a snake. And so I shit you not, a couple days later, he comes to my house. He drops a reticulated python off. It was about maybe 18 inches long, and says, "Hey, here's the little pinky mice that you feed it. Take it out every now and again if you want it to be like accustomed to people and not try and eat, you know, little children, or whatever." I was like, cool. He ends up leaving. I take this little fucker out, right? And I'm sitting in my kitchen, and this little snake starts crawling around me, crawling on my head. I'm freaking the fuck out. Like, there's no pet store dude to like hand it back to, right? And I swear to God, that a spiritual experience. The snake like is crawling around me and does one of those, like you've seen in the cartoons, like looks at you, like picks his head up and looks at me. And I'm sitting there like, I'm going to die. This is where I die. This is where this little fucker eats me. And I'm looking at this snake. I'm like, why am I afraid of this fucking thing? And it's crazy because the snake's looking at me, and I guarantee he's saying the same thing, like, yo, what's up with you, man? Like, who are you? And it sounds nuts to people, but like I realized in that moment how many stories I had in my brain about shit that I was afraid of, that I couldn't do, that was for rich guys or ripped guys or whatever. And all of a sudden I started looking at everything in my life like, why am I afraid of this? Why am I afraid to do that? Why am I afraid to go over here? And I've just literally been on this insane quest for the last 4 or 5 years to rewrite every single story that comes into my brain. And so literally Butters, this little teeny snake, helped me rewrite the story. I think that's what a lot of people are stuck on, is these are the stories in our head, like love's going to hurt, millionaires are, making millions are for other people, doing this is for, somebody else, whatever. And the truth of the matter is we just haven't gone far enough into that fear, into that pain to actually rewrite the stories and become literally whoever we want to fucking be.
In order to change, this came from a guy that was a POW for 6 years. He said, Brad, people need to change. And I said, well, how do people change? And he said, pain and time. Mm-hmm. And he said exactly what you're saying. He said, people go into pain, but not for long enough, so they don't change.
Right.
He says, if you truly want to change, dude, all the formula is time plus pain.
Right.
And you will change.
100%.
We changed. He was telling me prison stories. Like, this guy's a speaker. He goes around speaking about this stuff. He's an older guy, but dude, why am I forgetting his name right now? Charlie. He wrote a killer book. But anyway, that's exactly what he said. He said, you will change if you just figure out the formula. I said, what's the formula? He said, time plus pain.
There's nobody that can't have a six-pack. There's nobody that can't make millions of dollars. There's nobody that can, not have a great relationship.
I have genetics, Sean.
You have a lot of stories and a lot of excuses. I know this because I did it, dude.
You're just saying that, dude.
Yep. I lived most of my life.
My thyroid doesn't work.
Yeah, right.
Hey, you want to spend an hour a week with me helping you become a business badass? Well, check out my group in the link below.
Dude, my thyroid
neither
doesn't
do your
work.
legs. So get your ass on a fucking bike and start
I've
riding
tried.
it. You haven't tried hard enough.
Or long enough.
And
that's the point.
That's what's crazy,
that's
man.
That's a good point.
You're how old did you say you are? 50 something?
54.
62? 54, like, if you live to be 110, 115, like, bro, we're not even what the fuck do we even know? You know what I'm saying? We haven't found the edge of the universe. We haven't found the bottom of the ocean.
There's only one thing that I know.
They keep finding a new bottom to the ocean, like, this is for sure it. That's the satellite that they just, not satellite, the telescope, the Webb telescope. Dude, go down the rabbit hole on that fucking thing. They're finding shit that they didn't even know, right? And who's they? Scientists, smart people, whatever. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not. Maybe it's total bullshit. But I'd like to believe that, like, there's an infinite amount of opportunity, possibility, knowledge, wisdom out there. And that's what I'm about, is just constantly going down rabbit holes of, like, why do I believe what I believe? Why do I do what I do?
Do you believe the Bible?
Oh, sure. 100%.
Because the Bible will tell you that there's a firmament,
Mm-hmm.
which means we're underneath the firmament. Well, the science tells you that the universe is ever expanding.
Right.
And there is no end to it.
Right.
Well, then there's no firmament. So then that would conflict the Bible.
You can prove the Bible wrong with the Bible. That's what's crazy. Is the Bible a great book? Sure. Is the Bible true? Sure. Is your book, are your texts, are your posts true? Sure. Are you writing scripture today the same way they were writing scripture years ago? 100%. Me and you are writing scripture that if your shit's good enough, 2,000 years from now, they'll be reading your shit.
Yeah, they'll be like,
I believe that 100%, bro.
Brad Lee was an apostle.
Why wouldn't that be true? Like, think about that. Why wouldn't that be true? You know what I'm saying? Like, people talk about the Bible and, Revelation ended and the whole thing. Well, if Revelation ended, then why even believe God? Like, why even believe about any of this? Like,
why care?
Why care?
It's already planned.
Like, the problem is people don't have the eyes to see and the ears to hear because we're so fucking worried about, like, who we're bombing today and what politicians doing what. And this is what I think is fascinating, not only about this conversation, about, like, our dynamic and where we are in life, like, kind of going a little further, a little bit further down the rabbit hole every single day of, like, all right, what am I really doing? Why am I doing this? What do I really want? You get into that habit of constantly questioning and you realize, like, dude, I'm doing the same work that Jesus and the apostles were doing. I'm just writing it on fucking this iPhone and it's reaching millions and millions and millions of people. Just like the dudes back in the day were sitting on the side of the hill having conversations with, fishes and loaves of bread. See what I'm saying?
So now let's say someone figures
all the
out.
Christians are going to be like, fuck this guy. What's he talking about?
So now someone says, okay, I figured out what I want.
Yeah.
Now what?
Go get it.
Well, easier said than done.
Is it?
It's easier said than done. That's for damn sure.
Go find somebody that has what you want and take the information from them, buy the information from them, obtain the information from them. It's what you talk about, what you do, right? Taking the information from one person or the other.
Yeah.
If your goal is to make millions of dollars, how many millions? 10 million. Awesome. Who do you know that's made $10 million? I don't know anybody. Great. Well, get on this fucking thing, find a guy who's made $10 million and go get his blueprint. If your goal is to get ripped, find the guy who's ripped, get his blueprint. Like, that's what people are, they just don't fucking understand at all the capacity that you have to obtain knowledge right now. I mean, if you Google how to build a spaceship, NASA has blueprints that are public of how to build a rocket. Like, not just like a little shop class one, but one that'll fucking go into outer space. It's all there. Everything is there. So when you decide what you want, I want to be healthy. I want to be wealthy. What exactly does that mean? Drill that down to a tangible target. And go find somebody who has what you want, who has what you are seeking, and take the information, get the information, buy the information, and then do exactly what they did. Because they had to have, you've had a process to get here. You've had an exact process on this podcast. You've had an exact process with your business. Have you learned ways that you liked doing it and learned ways that you didn't like doing it?
Of course.
Fucking hell yeah. Cool. Give me your blueprint because I want to do what you do. I want to be where you are. I want to have what you have. That's legitimately the exact model that if people followed, they'd get exactly what they want.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, one, are you in enough pain or do you want it bad enough? And are you committed to do what Brad did to get where Brad is? Are you committed to do what he did to get where he is, or what she did to get where she is? Whether it's...
And if the answer is no, start over.
Yeah.
Because I have a three rule that's exactly what you just said. Number one, figure out what it is. Like, here's how you get anything you want in life. I break shit down so simply it goes over most people's heads.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. It's crayons. If you can't explain it to me on a whiteboard, it's too complicated.
Well, I said it on a stage a while back. Two people got it, came up, said, dude, I've been overthinking it. Everybody else said, duh. But yet they're sitting there fucking struggling.
Yeah.
So here's what I said. The first thing you got to do is figure out what it is that you want. And
exactly.
By the way, most people think that's the easy part. That's the hardest part.
It's the hardest fucking part.
Step two, figure out how to get it. They're like, well, no shit. That's the hard part. No, that's the easy part. Mm-hmm. You just go find someone who's already done it. You find someone who's already got it.
Yep.
And then the third one, do the fucking work. Because if you do what they did to get what they got, usually, yes, there's some exceptions, you'll get what they got. You see some dude at the fucking gym, you want his body, go tell him, what did you do? What did you eat? Go do what he did and eat what he ate and fucking see what happens.
It's literally that exact. It took me 6 months to build these abs. Fantastic. Tell me what you ate. Tell me what your workout routine is. Give me all of the freaking data that you've got. And then the only variable is me just doing it.
Or
I had a bad day, or I got off track. And that's exactly why you don't have what he has. Period. End of story. It's not hard to make $1 million a year. It's fucking simple. Follow the guy and do exactly what he did. And if you're dealing with really good people, they'll tell you, don't do these things. This is where I fucked up. Go do these things, right? Yep. And it's really the thing that's crazy, man, is like, you look at ayahuasca and you look at all these things, and you go out all of these processes, and everybody's got a system and everybody's got a thing and whatever. And it's like, I just look at life right now as we're just trying to hack our way through it and figure out different things that work, but why not test it all? Like, if you're a human being right now and you're not where you want to be, fucking start playing the game. Start experimenting. Start fucking going down the path and just saying, all right, I'm going to try this. That didn't work. That didn't work. I like this. I didn't like this. I like this. I didn't like this. And then just keep fucking going. Because at the end of the day, like, you're not going to regret it. I guarantee you, you're not going to look back and go, man, I wish I'd have bought that book or not bought that thing or not been to that course or not done the podcast. You're not going to look back and say any of that shit.
What is Jadari?
Jadari? It's a community management software that I built for my coaching group. I'm trying to think about some slick elevator pitch thing for it, right? I have had almost 40,000 people join my Lions Den coaching group over the last 11 years. And it's been on Facebook and it's been on multiple platforms. And I finally went to a guy a couple years ago and said, look, here's every single thing that I want in a community, in my community, for my members, for me as a value adding, coach. This is what I want. I want this laundry list of things. And he's like, this doesn't exist in the marketplace. I said, I know. but I want you to build it for me. He's like, give me a week and I'll hit you back. A week later, he hits me back. He says, it's going to take a fuck ton of money and a lot of time. I said, great, let's do it. And we soft launched it at the beginning of this year, but it's in my opinion, of everything that's out there right now, it's the greatest community management, community aggregating software on the planet. I took the best of everything, the best of Facebook, the best of Instagram, the best of Zoom, the best of libraries, of everything, and put it in one spot under one roof.
Jedari.
Yep.
Is that
Jedari.
Jedari.com?
Jedari.com.
Is there an app that people can download?
Yep.
Jedari.
So we built it for the Lion's Den, and about halfway through it, somebody hit me up and they're like, well, can you build this for me? And I was like, well, no, I'm building this for me. And then kind of the light bulb went on. So I'm back to my dev team and said, hey, can we white label this? Like, can we build this for other people? And we kind of took a little bit of a detour and figured out that we could.
You should ask me.
We talked about this a couple
years ago.
This
is what happened with Lightspeed. I built Lightspeed for me.
Yeah.
And then I went out and started selling my version of Lightspeed, and people were like, well, we use this guy and we use that guy and we like this guy and we fucking, I'm like, but I'm better and you want me. Trust me, you want me. And, I was uphill battles. Yeah. And so I finally just said, fucking, well, if I had them,
right,
would you fucking do it? And they're like, well, yeah, if you had them on this thing, I'd do it. And I went, fuck, dude. I'm sitting here trying to fucking fight the big names. Why don't I just go get the big names?
Go get the big names.
So I went and started closing all the people that everybody wanted on my software by white labeling it.
Yep.
And I would have told you that a long time ago, because a lot of people don't realize I might have been successful anyway and started kicking all their asses because I was kind of a lot better than most. But I may have also failed.
Sure.
What that pivot for me is, hey, let me white label this for everybody else, is what kind of made it work.
That's what makes it dope. And that's why Lightspeed and Jedari are going to figure out how to put some things together.
Jedari almost sounds like, every time I hear the name, I just think fucking like a Jedari, like a lounge singer.
Like your pinky out and you're drinking with your martini glass.
Yeah, where'd the name come from?
I think that'd be great. My partner came up with it, and it's a mixture of two different things, Atari and something else. And we just came up with it.
Jedi?
Yeah, something like that. And I was like, that looks great. I don't get hung up on names. I don't get hung up on shit like that.
Dude, whatever happened to the other app you built? Meters. Yeah,
it's
Meters.
It's still there. It's still hanging out.
Is it doing anything?
I haven't done anything with it.
Why?
I probably should. You and Stuman, Ryan hit me up. He's like, bro, you got to fucking launch this thing. It's badass. I'm like, I have so many things going on right now.
Yeah, but that also goes to show that fucking, it may not be the first idea that you have.
Dude,
go to the next one.
I have on my cell phone, it's called my Shiny Penny File. And it's like literally my notes. And it's literally titled Shiny Penny File. And all of these ideas that I have, they just come to me. I write them down. I just write them all down. I'll go in and I'll buy the domain. I own like 480 something domains because I'm just neurotic like that. And I just go buy all these
Dude, to me, it's
domains.
digital real estate.
It totally is. But I just write all these things down, and every now and again I'll go through and I'll read them and stuff like that. But like Meters was an idea that I had, which was kind of like Tinder for businesses, and then I went and I built it, right? And Jedari literally became a need of mine, and now that we're blowing up, we just crossed over 150,000 users, which is like insane. I just found that out this morning. I was talking to my partner, and we're not going to compete with Spotify, but we're launching at the end of middle of November a music streaming portal that I think is going to absolutely rock the music industry. Because what I see happening, and you know this because you're in the content space, right? It takes a push of a button to shut you off. You look at Russell Brand, for example. I mean, the dude talks about real shit. He questions a lot of things, right?
And shit was good.
This shit's great. He's awesome. He's got 6.5 million people on YouTube following him. Boop. They just don't like him one day. They just shut him off, right? Some girl accuses him of something, whether it's true or not, not questioning any of that, but revenue streams, millions of dollars just shut off in an instant. We've known this for a long time. Like, I don't think there's any content provider that doesn't realize that. Facebook owns your shit. They could literally push a button and every single post I've ever done is deleted, gone, like into oblivion, see you later. You know what I mean?
Now,
I wanted to control my stuff.
Now all people can say is, what happened to that Sean Whalen guy?
Exactly. So I just decided to build my own thing so that I could say what I wanted to say, have my own real estate, but I wanted all of the same features that I really liked about social media. So we literally built our own Facebook wall. We've got our own, profiles. We built like the stories at the top of Instagram, so you can have those quick instant deals. We've got huge profiles that we built out, live streaming video that's native. That, you know what I mean? You can have libraries and terabytes of content if you're a fitness provider or coach or whatever. I just realized like I wanted to be able to control my own shit.
Chat, DM type thing?
DM messages,
Can I
internal
text people through
billing,
it?
the whole thing. Yep, you can send push notifications. So my coaching call every Wednesday, noon Mountain Standard Time. I've been doing it for 11 years. Push notifications, 15-minute warning, and like the engagement that we get is insane. It's absolutely insane because you built a community, and we all want to be part of a community. We all are part of Facebook groups. We follow people on Instagram, so on and so forth. So I just looked at it like, we've got Tommy Vex is getting ready to launch his music on Jadari through Vexed app. So he white labeled it and he's launching Vexed app because he realizes like, I'm not getting shit for streaming. So any of these musicians that are wanting to take control of their own revenue and not get fucked over anymore, they realize like, I don't have anywhere to go. I don't have anything to do. But if you think about it, all of these guys like you that have been building up these followings. I mean, how many people did you say you had TikTok? In like a couple of months, 2.6 million people, right? That's a tribe. This is a group of people that are watching you, that are part of where you are. Now, will all 2.6 million follow you wherever you go? Probably not. But will a chunk? Absolutely. And will that chunk like want to be part of your world and your universe? Hell yeah, absolutely. So we look at it as, Jadari is this platform that allows you to take your really fierce, loyal fans, people that want to participate with you, that want to be consuming your content, that see the value that you've been putting in, and they want to be part of it. And so now they have an opportunity to be able to buy into whatever you're offering, whether it's music or podcasts, the whole deal. Like we talked about Joe Rogan. I mean, there's so many guys in the podcast space right now that are charging for subscriptions and charging for like the full length thing, but in 2 seconds you can get your shit shut down. So that's kind of what we're bringing to the table, is not a platform that's like, hey,
you guarantee no one will shut them down.
We're not taking that front, like Truth Social, right? Truth Social came into the social media space like, oh, we're going to be the platform that never shuts anybody down and everything goes here. Bullshit. It's not reality, right?
Did they start doing that?
We're not trying to, yeah. We're not trying to compete with any of them. We're just giving you your own portal.
Which one got shut down? Because like you got to be on the internet, right?
Yeah.
You got to be in the Apple store and the Android store. Mm-hmm. What happens? They say "fuck you" and click. You're not in the stores no more.
No, that's what that's 2.0 for us. We're already working on that.
Because dude, like that one, I forget what it was. Not one Rumble. It was somebody.
Yeah,
maybe it was Truth.
Their app got shut down.
Yeah, they said "fuck you" and they still shut their asses
They still
down.
shut them out. Yep.
Dude, it's almost like
that's why people are trying to fight it. Like you can't fight Facebook.
Well, who owns the internet?
I don't know who does own it.
Well, who controls it?
Didn't Al Gore start it?
Because you're going to need internet.
Yeah. Right.
So you piss the wrong motherfucker off, you're off the internet.
True story. Who owns the internet? Do we know who owns the internet?
I think it's public domain. Who controls it's the real question.
Yeah.
And I'll bet you the U.S. government.
Should we talk about the? By the way,
like the China government controls theirs.
Yeah.
You don't fuck with China, nope. Dude. They don't let you see the rest of the world. They show
you what they allow you to see what they want you to see. Imagine that for a second. We're there. America's there. Like we're balls deep in that right now. And if people don't think that, they don't believe that, you're out of your fucking mind.
100%.
You're out of your mind. There are countless videos that you can just show people where it's like 50 different news stations literally with the same lines. You've seen those videos where they just break it down and they're literally saying the exact same thing. I'm like, well, who's the script writer? Where's that coming from? And if you follow the chain up far enough, you know what I'm saying? Like it's very, very, very obvious how this works. I figured this out when I ran for Congress. You know, I ran for Congress, right?
Yeah.
And what's really fascinating about this is it was a special election. So it was literally like a 90-day quick, who's in, who's going to, take the seat kind of a deal. There were 3 televised debates, right, that you had to qualify for. So I ran as an unaffiliated candidate. There was a Libertarian, there was a Republican, there was a Democrat. And all 3 of the debates I polled at 0. So they didn't include me in the debates, right? But in the general election, I actually beat the Libertarian by almost 6 points. So if you stop and think about that for 2 seconds, like, how does that work, right? Because if I beat a national party as an unaffiliated candidate, like, how did I poll at 0? Well, do you know who owns the polling companies? Go look up any of the polling companies. So every time you turn on Fox, ABC, CNN, the polls that they show you, Google who owns the polling companies.
Who does?
Mainstream media. Time Warner, Fox,
because they're making that
CNN.
shit up.
Exactly. Like literally Google. Anybody who's listening to this, go Google. Just look at whatever polling companies there are. Look at who owns the polling companies. Mainstream media. Fascinating shit.
Well, that's the part that gets me. I don't want to say depressed, but almost like, because if I can't control it, I don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like,
Right.
what can you do? You know, Joe Biden's the president. You
Yeah.
know, it was a fraud election. Well, whatever. What are you gonna
Yeah.
do? You're
Yeah.
not solving that motherfucking
Exactly.
shit. Next,
Right.
I go back and focus on what I'm doing. Why?
Exactly.
Well, dude, we're all gonna die someday.
Right.
So get as happy as you can be while you're still alive.
Get your house in order.
But that makes me think, fuck. See, that's because you can't fix that, dude. If the
Right.
powerful elite really exist, which I believe they do.
Oh yeah. People that you've never heard of.
Yeah, you're such a small bitch, pussy fish that they don't care about you, and that's why you don't seem to feel their fucking pull. But get big enough,
Right.
and they will fuck you,
Right.
if they want to. Like Andrew Tate, you know, they shut him down. But I don't think they're really wanting to shut him down. Why?
Who's
Because,
they?
dude, they'd kill you.
Yeah. Who's they? That's the bigger question. Who's
I know,
they?
but like, dude, you don't even have to be very rich to have someone killed. Like, I know people myself that literally could theoretically get a phone call, get a wire, and go kill someone. So if these people are like governments and elite and above governments, if they wanted someone seriously silenced, they don't throw them in jail. They might discredit them, throw them in jail, play a game with them. But at any time you really piss off those people, you disappear, bro.
the real question
Your whole
is,
fucking
who's-
family disappears.
Who's they?
Well, in my research, it's old families that you would never
It ain't-
imagine.
George, it ain't
And it's
the
led
George
by
Soroses.
a man by the name of Lucifer. It's led by Satan himself.
That's the real interesting thing, man, because I feel like right now a lot of people we're quote unquote fighting the wrong adversary. We don't really understand who's really in charge and what the game really is.
Yeah, it's called deception, you know.
Exactly.
Look over here.
It's exactly what it is.
I'm over here. Look over here. I'm over here.
Well, I listen to Fox or I listen to CNN or whatever. They're all fucking the exact same. It's all the exact same shit. And this is why, like, when you get to this kind of conscious level thinking, a lot of people look at it as this hippy dippy bullshit. When I start talking about ayahuasca or going to the jungles or whatever, it's about figuring out who the fuck you really are in this game.
As a being.
As a human, like, you're here for this moment of time. 200 years from now, 2,000 years from now, like, somebody's going to look at your family tree and be like, you know, where was the glitch in the matrix? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here right now for a purpose. What is that purpose? You start asking these questions and going down the rabbit hole there, and you realize, like, holy shit, like, why am I really here?
We're here to awaken people.
And when you really get to that place where you understand that you can't, I'm not going to beat Facebook. I'm not trying to beat Facebook. All these people trying to start social media to beat Facebook, you're never going to fucking beat them. But if you could take a teeny little market share of Facebook, you're independently wealthy. When you become independently wealthy, then you can do your own shit, right? You can have your own level of freedom. You know that they're just fun coupons that get you to another level of freedom, right? It upgrades where you fly on the airplane or if you fly your own airplane, kind of a deal. But so few people have ever actually stopped for 2 seconds and asked any of these questions. Why am I here? Like, what's my purpose? Am I really supposed to be working this job? Like, am I really supposed to be here right now? Well, why do I care more about the opinions of my mom and my dad and my family than my own fucking being and my own self? I pray to God. God tells me this, but I don't do it because I'm worried about mom and dad being mad or my church being mad or somebody else being mad. So I'm just going to stay this one-dimensional fucking idiot for the rest of my life so that I don't piss anybody off or rustle any feathers or whatever. And so, like, what's the ultimate game that we're playing? Freedom. That's like the game that we're playing. That's what this entire thing comes down to, is freedom. You know what I'm saying?
And it might boil down to be just a choice to be free.
Choose to be free. What does that look like? It might be literally going against every single thing, or not even against, questioning and rewriting the story. Because if you look back, I mean, this is where you can get into that psychoanalysis, psychological bullshit, but like, we were all programmed. And so you look at somebody like Andrew Tate, it doesn't matter whether you agree with him, disagree with him, whatever, he was challenging the status quo. I mean, he's telling people to think differently, to understand the Matrix, right? I think the Matrix is a documentary, to be totally honest with you. The literal movie is a documentary about a dude. Think about the movie. It's a guy who is in a shitty job, lives in a shitty house, is sucked into this portal every single day, works with people he can't fucking stand, eats food that he doesn't like, and then all of a sudden, like, somebody comes along and kind of pokes him. You know what I'm saying? My buddy Garrett, he tells me years ago, he's like, you're like a light switch. So what do you mean? He's like, remember when you were a kid and you're all comfy in bed and in the middle of the winter time and mom would come in to wake you up for school and she'd flip the lights on, and for me, she'd like pull the covers off. I'm like, shut the lights off. It hurts my eyes, you know? You're poking a hole in the Matrix. You look at Neo from the Matrix. He fucking hated his life. Most people hate their life. Most people are not where they want to be. They're not doing what they want to do. They're not traveling how they want to travel. They're not earning what they want to earn. They're not eating what they want to eat. They look at the fucking price versus the steak that they actually want to order. They buy cheap wine versus really fucking good wine. You understand what I'm saying? This is where a majority of human beings are. And so anytime you start to indoctrinate an opportunity or even invite them to ask a question, you become the freak. You know what I'm saying? Like, people think what I talk about is nutty. And it's like, how is it nutty? Because aren't you wanting more freedom emotionally, psychologically, financially, physically?
Myself, yes.
Yeah, we all do. Those of us who are really seeing this and questioning things, you realize how deep this game really is. So what do we, again, going back to it, what do we really know? And to me, not knowing things is the invitation to go look. That's what I fucking love about it. People are like, oh, prove God's real. I'm like, prove that he's not. Well, I can't prove that he's real, and you can't prove that he's not. Where does that leave us?
I can prove that he's real.
In a great middle spot where we can fucking talk and communicate. You can share and I can share. And do we leave this conversation better? Do we leave this conversation more enlightened? In this singular moment that I have, am I investing it where I want to invest it? Am I speaking what I want to speak? Am I sharing my truth as I feel it right now? And I found that more and more and more as I do that, that's when life gets more exciting. It gets more enlightening. Like, the more you know, like, the less you know. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's what's so fucking exciting about it, is it's like I can literally pivot and turn anywhere I want and do anything that I want. And that's really, you brought up Andrew Tate. That's what he's telling people. Get the fuck out of the Matrix. Go become wealthy. Go get your body ripped. Because, I mean, this is what the Stoics have been talking about for thousands of years. This isn't new shit. But we have been programmed by them to not believe any of it, to not think about any of it, to not question any of it.
Well, for the record, I can prove God's real.
Prove it right now.
Women.
Carry on. Continue.
That's it.
Women?
Yeah. Who invented that shit? Dude, you had to be a supreme being to realize.
Deity. You had to be deity.
Well, dude, they produced a female. Mm-hmm. The female, if you look at her, wonderful idea. Mm-hmm. Okay. Everything fits perfectly. Like, their shit is right at the same level as our shit. Happens to be, warm, nice place to be. Beautiful. Feeds, reproduces with the seed of us. Like, you think that was accidental shit? Impossible.
I tell people I joke about this, but I'm serious. I've seen 3 babies come out of a woman's vagina. And every single time I'm looking at that, I'm like, the fuck, man? Like, that didn't happen by some rocks just colliding in the cosmos. That didn't just happen by accident. I'm like, I can't explain it. I'm watching this, but I'm like, that's dope. That's gangster. That's next level. You win.
Yeah, like cut your skin lightly.
Yeah.
And dude, there's shit in your body without even thinking that goes, it scabs it up and heals it. Mm-hmm. Like, regenerates. Dude, to say that this was all a couple of rocks exploding or evolution or accidental, or we were both amoebas and now we're, explain a fucking giraffe and a lion.
Yeah.
Tell
me what salt tastes like. If you've never tasted salt, you can't. Like, what does it mean?
But what changed everything? A butterfly and a tiger came from the same motherfucking single cell amoeba sludge. Bullshit, number one. Number two, there's too much perfection. So if you ask me, if someone were to say, well, describe the same thing. Well, to say that would be the same as to say, we put dynamite in a printing shop, a printing company, and we blew it to smithereens. massive explosion. And out of that explosion, somehow, the pages in the book and the bindings and the numbers and the letters and the pages and everything just went bam and fell to earth. This book. Mm-hmm. Now, and that you can read and it makes sense. And like, you're not going to make a book out of an explosion.
Right.
That's just a book, bro. That's not a fucking human body. That's not a fucking animal. That's not fucking trees and fucking rivers and lakes and streams and oxygen and nitrogen and all that shit.
Why do you think it is so few people are willing to ask these questions? Why do you think it is that so few people are willing to like go down that rabbit hole and even question anything?
Well, because we have way too many sheep and not enough lions.
Mm-hmm. You really think that's it?
Yeah, dude, well, no, I mean, when it gets to the bottom line, the bottom line, dude, if you read the scripture, it tells you it's good and evil, man. Mm-hmm. There is forces of good and evil. People don't realize that we are in the domain of the evil. The earth belongs to Satan. That's what it says. So we are in Satan's world until a time that we're not, but we are right now. And eventually this will become heaven on earth. But right now we're in Satan's world. And that's why people say, oh, you believe in this fucking Satan? No, Satan's behind the Illuminati and Satan's the ones, that's the they. Yeah, motherfucker, that's what I believe. I believe it's the they. Why? Because if you believe in God, then you believe in Satan.
Mm-hmm. There has to be an adversary.
If you believe in God, you believe in Satan.
You can't appreciate light without dark. You can't appreciate the dark without the light.
Yes, if you walk up and say, you believe in Satan? You believe in Satan, bro? Someone's like, no, I don't believe. Well, yeah, I mean, I think he exists. Okay. Well, then if he does exist, who the fuck do you think is in control? And by the way, go look at the scripture. It says he is too. But he says, don't worry, fear not, my friends, just have faith. Mm-hmm. So I just say, okay, well, I can't compete with Satan. So guess what? All I'm going to do is seek, put on the gospel armor and try to be kind, right? Mm-hmm. Generous and fucking happy. And if I die and I'm wrong, whatever.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Whatever.
You know what's wild though too, man? What since the dawn of creation has been the single most prevalent force for death and war? What's been the single most talked about conversation or root cause of death and war on this planet? God.
Religion.
More people have died over war, and we're seeing it right now in the Middle East. More people literally fight and are angry and are viciously bitter about God and religion and the books than really anything else. We really stop and think about it. Like there's churches on every corner damning other churches and this guy and your book and this book and that book. Literally people killed every single day. Christians versus non-Christians, Muslims, over God.
I would say there's three main reasons.
Why?
God, religion, money, real estate, property, and women. God, money, and women is the reason everybody's at war.
So what should we do then? What do we do? If this is your last podcast, what do? You
go get those three things. God, money, and women.
Hit that bomb.
But it ain't my last podcast.
And the next one.
And it ain't my last podcast. And you're going to be back again for another episode. Fair enough?
We should, this time though, I
want to bring the wives.
Oh, we're going to do that. We're going to do Sean and Sack show.
No, I mean, that's your show.
We'll do yours too.
And by the way, everyone should go log into a show, whether you're single or married.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
We talk about good shit.
But I want you guys on my show, and I want you to ask Melissa all the shit you were talking because I would love to hear her answers.
Yeah.
My wife's a interesting creature.
She has to be to put up with your ass.
Well, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
See, you hear dipshit laughing out there. Like that's not even fucking funny.
That is fucking hilarious. Dude, so's mine. My wife to put up, listen, the fact, Saxony and I joke about this, but I'm being totally serious. Like we won't get divorced. One of us will kill the other one. Like it won't end up, that's just how we operate.
Well, I feel you, but
we have to have special women.
I have an interesting one. And, I always tell people that I can't believe you say that. You know, we could end up divorced real easily. Like fucking let her cheat. If I fucking caught her cheating, if I found out she cheated, she's no longer my chick. You know, my chick wouldn't do that. So I was just temporarily with a chick, but we'd get divorced for sure. And I wouldn't necessarily kill her.
What if you cheated?
Well, if I cheated, then I'm cheating myself.
Right. But then she should divorce you, right?
Well, that's up to her. I wouldn't if I were her. I'd stick with me no matter what I did.
This is going to be a fun podcast. With the
Well,
four
I'd
of
stick
us.
with me no matter what I did. Why? Because I'm fucking kind, I'm generous, and I'm fucking ethical. There's not many of me out there.
Cheating's not ethical.
Who?
Cheating's not ethical.
Well, I didn't say I would cheat.
Okay. I'm just asking if you did.
Well, if I did, well, then I guess I wouldn't be ethical. And if she was worth it, and why I say worth it, that's why I don't cheat, by the way. I don't cheat because, dude, if I cheat, I'm cheating myself.
Yeah.
Right now, if she cheated, I'd divorce her. For sure. I don't care. What about the children? Look, I'm telling you right now, people want me to say, oh, I'll never divorce my wife. I'll divorce her ass if she cheats. I'll divorce her ass if she cheats.
But she won't cheat. Why?
But if she nags.
But here's why she won't cheat.
Or
Why?
if she gets really fat.
Why
No,
won't
I'm
she
just joking.
cheat?
I just said that for all the haters out there. Give them something,
It's
give them
doesn't
something
sound
to
right.
bitch about.
But why won't she cheat and why won't you cheat?
I'm not saying she wouldn't. I'm saying I wouldn't. I don't know that she wouldn't, bro.
You do.
I do not know that.
You do.
Nope.
I think when you get to a place of real fucking connection, my wife wouldn't cheat on me. She wouldn't.
Well, yours is not mine, and I don't know that. I don't know that. Of course, I was also abandoned by my mother when I was 2.
Oh, here we go.
Well, I
We're
mean, I'm
going
just
down the
saying
rabbit
that's facts. So maybe I've got
Mommy issues?
trust issues. Or
Trust
something.
issues?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
We all do.
But if somebody
Fair.
said, Brad, I'm gonna put death on a table, and your answer is going to determine whether you are dead or alive, and you have to be correct in your answer. Would your wife ever cheat on you? My answer would be yes. So I'd stay alive. Or that's what my answer would be, to try and stay alive. Why? Because, dude, everybody at some point, in some circumstance, would probably cheat. Probably. Period.
Do you know what I think about cheating? It's an interesting thought process, because at the end of the day, if I show up as I should for myself, like, why would, number one, I ever cheat? Number two, why would she? When me and Sax were dating, we had some like really interesting conversations. Like, we agreed out of the gate, like, that truth mattered more than our feelings and our opinions, right? So if I'm at dinner with Sax and she's like, "What are you thinking right now?" and I'm looking at a waitress and she's got a great smile or
Killer
a
ass.
nice ass, and I'm like, I'm just thinking about this pasta. It has nothing to do with her. I'm lying to myself. I did this most of my life. It's like I just said what should be said, what was path of least resistance, what was socially acceptable, what wouldn't sound weird or obscure. And I knew that if I could get with a woman, which is my wife now, who would understand that and would appreciate that truth more than the emotions connected to what she was hearing, and we could build some big fucking shit.
That's true.
And what most women don't have is men that are honest, radically honest, or men don't have women that are stable enough in their own shit to hear the truth from their man. And so that's why, I don't know, we might, she might not, because so long as I do me to the best of my capacity, right? I will never cheat, and she will never cheat either. Why? Because I'm fucking her brains out, because I'm ripped as shit, because I got the fucking money. So what are you going to go do? Fuck some fat pool boy? Ain't going to happen. But where are we?
But you ain't the only buff rich dude.
You know what I'm saying?
The question is see, this is the part where that's why I say I don't know. Why? Because, dude, we can fall short accidentally. There was a time where I was coming home. I was at home. I'd come home, but I wasn't home. I was gone, even though I
Exactly.
was there.
Right.
Well, dude, you do that for long enough to your wife that will never cheat, and you find out she's cheating. And,
Right.
and she's cheating because fucking you weren't paying attention. You weren't fucking doing what you're supposed to do. And sometimes we accidentally do that, and we think to ourselves, our wives would never cheat, when in reality, they will too, motherfucker. The question is why would they cheat, and are you ever going to try or allow it? Well, my answer is,
So here's a
I
question.
won't allow it. Like, you won't cheat on me, because if the second you do, there's no longer me, so you
Right.
can't cheat on me.
Yep.
But if I found out she cheated, bro, I'd divorce her ass in a heartbeat. And then I'd be a motherfucking badass. Dude, I would get on the social media channels and the podcast, and I would say, and I wouldn't say, girls, I'm ready to rock and roll. Guys, my girl's fucking available. I'd say, it's crazy, man. So if you've been cheated on, it happens to everybody. It happened to me. I just got divorced from my wife because she cheated on me. And my DMs would explode with all the new opportunities in the world. Well, guess what? Do I want that to happen? No, dude. I've traded all of them for one. And do I think she will? No, I don't think she will. But I don't know she won't. And I don't think you do either.
Dude, I'm telling you right now.
I know I won't.
So long as I show up.
You're hoping.
No, there's no hope. I'm telling you straight up, like it's the same.
That's
it's
conviction.
It's the same dynamic that I have with God. I cannot.
Have you ever been
physically
cheated on?
Prove to you. I cannot prove to you, God, but I know, and I'm willing to die. This is what, to me, we can go to. We don't have time limit, do we? Fuck your time limit.
But have you ever been cheated on?
Yes.
Did you think she wouldn't cheat on you?
No, because I wasn't who I am today. I had no fucking idea. It's the same reality of Jesus, right? If you think about Jesus, Yahshua, that's how you say it?
That's his name.
I say Jesus, you say Yahshua. Because me and Jesus are cool, so I can call him Jesus. Like, what made Jesus Jesus?
Nothing, because his name's Yahshua.
Okay? The guy Jesus, the
Yahshua.
man, the savior of the world, however you want to label him, right? He did what 99.99999% of men will never do. And I'm not talking about taking on the sins, the Garden of Gethsemane, any of the other great things that we read about. If a dude came to you right now and put a gun to your head and said, denounce your belief, or I'm going to blow your brains out, most men would.
Correct.
Just to stay alive.
Yes.
It's that level of conviction that most men don't have, that I did not have for many, 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 many years, which is why I lived a subpar life. Which is why I had a subpar marriage, I had a subpar body, I had subpar income. And once I got to a place where I realized that that level of conviction is how you get to the next level in every facet, from your marriage to your body to stringing all of these things together, you flip that switch and most people won't.
Whether you're right or wrong, you do it.
At the end of the
And
day,
you know what
like,
you call that? Risk.
They came to Jesus and they're like, yo, denounce it all. You're a fucking Pharisee or fraud, the whole thing. And he's like, no, dude.
Well, that's because
I'm
he
willing.
knew, though.
I'm willing to go down, but that same mentality, isn't that what we're here for? Isn't the call from whatever book you're reading to be like Jesus? Isn't that exactly what the teachings have been since we were little kids?
Yeah, but he
Be like
knew
Jesus.
you can't be like that
Isn't
unless
that what,
you know.
Isn't that what we're trying to do? Is it possible that you can know?
Well, again, I believe, but
Is
I don't
it possible
know.
that you can know? That's all I'm asking you. Is it possible that you can know?
It's possible, yes.
Yes.
Because
Cool.
you choose.
If that's a reality, then if the answer to that question is yes, think through that for 2 seconds.
I've already thought about it. See, what I do is I think through it in fucking a millisecond, and you're correct there. Because if the possibility is you could know, but just by choosing to know, which is faith, well, then you can know. But I don't know. And that's because I'm grounded in fucking logic and doubt and fear and fucking the shit we've been talking about this whole
Come
time.
do some ayahuasca with me, bro.
I might.
Let's open you up a little bit.
I always said I'd never
open
do it because I don't
ourselves
want to
up.
shit myself. But you said you've never shit
I've
yourself.
never shit myself.
Well,
Almost like 13 or 14
If you can
times.
guarantee I don't shit
I can't
myself,
guarantee you anything.
yeah, I'm
I
not
can't-
shitting myself.
I can guarantee you. One of those crazy about people ask me all the time, should I do it? Should I not do it? Da, da, da. What is it? Da, 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 the whole thing. I'm like, look, man, the people that struggle the most in life, in my opinion, are the same people that struggle in the plant medicine world. Like I've had journeys where you go in and you sit down and the shaman is like trying to, what's your intention? And you get people to pull out their phone. They're like, okay, I want to figure out if I should have this job or if I should quit or if I should water the garden on Tuesdays or Thursdays or Saturdays or Sundays. And I just sit back like laughing because I'm like, that's like trying to tell God what to do. It's trying to tell God how to do his job. I've never gone into a single one with a specific intention. I go in, I'm like, God's going to show me what he's going to show me. And regardless of what I say, he's going to show me what he wants to show me.
Did you meet Mother Earth every time?
Bro, I've been to the top of the mountain, to the bottom of the fucking barrel. I have been to hell and I've been to heaven.
And when you came back to quote
and
unquote,
every single one of them was beautiful. Every single one of these experiences was exactly what I was supposed to have.
And when you came back to reality,
yeah,
did you bring that with you? Like you didn't forget it all?
What if that where I was reality? And I'm just trying to bring that into this world right here. That's what I said at the very beginning. What if that's the Matrix? We'll go back to Neo. Which world is he living in?
Would you want to live there?
Bro, I'm trying to right now. I'm trying to. Believe me, if there's one thing that I could do, it would be that guy in that space here. But what I war with every day is the same thing. My ego and my pride and my fear and my things. You go into that space. Remember little kids? I was talking about the little kid. Like,
you have none.
You have none. So what would it look like if I could operate here with no ego?
Yeah.
That's the game that we're playing, my
When's
friend.
your next book coming out?
I don't know. When I get around to writing it.
I dare you to write Fuck Ego.
Fuck ego. I actually have an idea for a book. I'm gonna write one about your mess being your message. Because that's something that I've talked about quite a bit. But I want to write a book about purpose, about this conversation on purpose. I just haven't figured out how yet.
Yeah, people need to find their purpose. That's for damn sure.
Look, man, I mean, I don't care how much money you have. Like, I don't care who you are, black, white, gay, straight, rich, poor, whether your name's Brad, whether your name's Joshua, Jesus, or Sean, right? We are on this rock right now collectively together. That's flying through the cosmos at tens of thousands of miles an hour, going who the fuck knows where. Supposedly, right? It's my belief system. I can't prove that, whatever. Think that through for 2 seconds, man. Like, think about not knowing. That should excite you. That should get you fucking motivated. That should get you like asking more questions and seeking out more information. We're so fucking afraid of our own shadow. We're afraid of everything. We're afraid of fucking up and failing. What is failing? Like literally, what is failing?
Perception.
Exactly. When you stop and think about that, like we're so terrified of social media and what people will say or won't say or how I'll be seen or how I'll be judged and what am I going to wear and should I wear this or should I wear that? And if I wear this, they're going to think this. If I say this, they're going to think that. We're living in this fucking insane one-dimensional world where people are fat, broke, unhappy, depressed. And we're trying to appease those people. The fuck out of here, man. Jesus was a freak. Jesus literally, Joshua, the dude in the book that I've read about, walked from town to town to town, didn't have a whole lot of shit, and just sat on rocks talking about the weirdest, most obscure, crazy shit. And yet people, literally billions of people, 2,000 years later, herald this man as the savior of the world. And he was a fucking weirdo.
No,
so what are we all worried about? What are we all worried about? Ask more questions. Go down more rabbit holes. Drop more bombs. You know what I'm saying? Pull the pin on the hand grenade. Blow that shit up and then rebuild it.
I don't see any line of lions, not sheep, that have any Joshua symbolism.
So
you should make one.
Why?
Because
make your own.
Make my own.
Make your
I'm
own
just inspiring you to make something that's in your line. Your line's already successful.
I actually thought about a cross one the other day that I kind of like. I'll show it to you.
And just make it symbolic of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because you already have a successful one. The lions, not sheep that I have that's my favorite is that pit shirt from the race crew. Mm-hmm. It's fucking awesome.
People like, yo, Brad's always wearing that shirt. I'm like, I think Brad wore that shirt for like a week, did a shit ton of content. He just repurposes the content.
No, I still wear it. It's in my closet. It's fucking cool, number one. Yeah. Number two, you can't buy those.
You can't.
See?
That was a one-off, man.
See what I'm saying?
We're going to start doing one-offs. That's one thing I'll tell people.
That's what I'd be doing.
They're coming. That's what's coming. Is I learned a lot over the last 3 years running that company. I got my ass handed to me this year.
Well,
I
you remember Ed Hardy?
Oh yeah.
You remember Affliction?
Yeah.
So again, like to me,
Von Dutch, like all those old school.
Yeah, but like to me, if they would have like evolved over time, I think they might still be popular. The problem is they stayed in that realm. Like when I used to look at Lions Not Sheep, it was more fucking, grow a fucking beard, motherfucker.
Guns, blowing shit up.
Yeah, and you got to have a fucking long ass beard and tattoos and shit. Rebel type thing, which I'm a little bit of a rebel, but now it's starting to see like now it's starting to I see it evolve to where like the shirt you were wearing the other day, that fucking lion on the big lion, like that was just a cool looking design. Like I'd wear that shit. I wouldn't wear all Lions Not Sheep shit. I wouldn't wear all Affliction shit. Right. I wouldn't wear all anything. The only one that I would wear pretty much anything that I fucking have ever seen from them is Nobody.
Dude.
I got too eclectic of taste.
Do you still wear those bedazzled jeans, man?
Bullshit.
You still wear those fucking things?
Dude, I wear fucking AGs, period.
You got bedazzled jeans and stuff. You have rhinestones on your jeans.
Pass.
Come on, man.
I bet you do, though.
No.
Those are Affliction.
By
the way, those are Affliction jeans.
Those are Affliction jeans. I quit having fun last year, this year, because we tried to really scale and grow really big, really fast. And I had that vision, and it was totally the wrong move.
Yeah, but I see a fucking evolution through Lions Not Sheep.
Yeah.
Like it gets to me, better and better.
Yeah.
It's not just the same.
You want to know what's crazy about it, dude? Is it's absolutely completely backwards from probably every business model that you could look at, because I tried to go that route. I brought in people from other big name clothing brands and made some of them my COOs and thought for sure we were going to the fucking moon. And God was like, no, that's not the direction. So we're going back to having fun, back to doing the shit that we really like to do and keeping it nice and small and tidy and running fast.
Well, folks, listen, you guys want to follow this cat at Sean Whalen, SEAN. Go get his gear, go support him, go join his coaching group, or just go ask the questions he did, or just go get his book, How to Make Shit Happen.
Or just do it all, man. Why not do it all? Do all of the above. Everything that Brad just said, just go do it.
And stay tuned to my channels, because one of these days I'm going to put on an event where I'm bringing Sean.
Let's do it.
Because you owe me one.
I'm in.
I'm bringing Sean. I'm going to bring fucking a few select people that fucking think correctly. And we're going to try to change the world. Until next time, keep it real. Thanks for coming in, buddy.
Love you.
A lot of people won't question it because of other people's opinion. Your mom, your dad, your brother, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife. Somebody's telling you, get a real job. Haven't you tried this long enough? The market's shitty. And now you're worried because, oh my God, I might fail. I might look so fucking what? You know how many times I've failed?